Hi, I'm Peter Birch. Welcome to this week's show where we're going to look at these beautiful little Northern Velvet Geckos. We're going to set up a basic cage to get you started, all thanks to our good friends at Reptile One. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Welcome to CrittaCam. So, I guess you're wondering what we're going to do. Well, I'm the same. So what we're going to do basically is I keep a lot of Northern Velvet Geckos and I think they're pretty damn cute myself. And hopefully after today's show I've convinced you that they are a really cute gecko to work with. So thanks to our good friends at Reptile One, I'm going to show you one of the simplest, easy and the coolest looking enclosures you can set up for these little beauties. Now they don't require a lot of heat, so you've got a little 5-watt heat mat to whack underneath the cage, but because this is an arboreal species, a really cool trick, black background of this cage, as you can see, there's a black back, you can actually stick the heat pad on the side of the cage. Now being arboreal, these guys particularly can climb glass very well. If you've put the heat pad on the back here, they're going to climb up and sit on the back to be able to bask, to be able to absorb nutrition and digest. That's pretty cool because you're going to see more of them. Now, I like to use a light sprinkling of sand in the bottom of the cage. I know, once again, sand, the most hated substance in the universe. I don't know why. It's a natural product, and if you use it well, use it wisely. The power is in your hands. Now, corner water bowls. Corner water bowls are probably one of the coolest things I like to use because if you put it in the corner of the cage, lizards have a knack of actually going around the cage. So if you put it in the middle of the cage, they're less likely to find it. You put it in a corner, they're more likely to walk in it, which means that they're going to find out where the water is a lot quicker. Now you do get a block of substrate, which I would use into a nest box. And there we are. A nice simple cage. What you can do to actually add a little bit more to it, knowing this particular species lives under bark, I've actually got a couple of iron barks around where I go and tear off the bark off the trees, and I can stack these in the corner of the cage like this. Obviously you've got to cut them to suit the cage. You can stack them in the cage, and what will happen is the lizards, the geckos themselves, will get in between the bits of bark, and that's where they really like to hide and hang out. Now, one of the other cooler things that they really need is these vertical substrates to be able to hang off. Because when it comes to feed time, these guys will actually hang upside down, watching and waiting for the food, and they'll just pop down and pounce on the food. It's really cool to watch. Now, one of the cooler things I've found working with this particular species is after looking at a large number of animals, and I mean, we're working with quite a few animals now. We started off with 4. That number quickly grew, and we kept producing more and more, and we started noticing different things with these animals. We're looking at colours, we're looking at shapes of markings, and the different types of markings. Now what we noticed first of all is that you've got these nice thick bands which really makes the Northern Velvet Gecko a particularly magnificent looking species, these nice big yellow bands. Then what we started noticing is that some of these bands had fleckles through them, almost like a marbling of different colours coming through, darker colours. That was something that was a little bit different. Some of these animals are a lot darker, some are a lot lighter. So what you've got to do is start taking notice, and that's what we did. We started taking notice of these dark and light colours. Then we started working with the amelanistic Northern Geckos. And what we noticed there is that when we started putting those through some of the other lines that we're working with, which is the bandeds, the marbling, also the hypomelanistic, in other words reduction of black markings, and the hypermelanistic, in other words increase darker colours, we noticed that we started getting all these weird things coming out. Now what we did notice is that some of these animals would show some of the individual traits, and some of them would show multiple different things. So we're looking at the colours, so some of these have like 3 or 4 different colour things going on, and they've got 1 or 2 different patterning things going on. So as we know, genes can affect colours and patterns.
And also eye colour.
That's right. And as Cole said, we also noticed that some of the eye colour and tongue colour started to change as well. along with all the other things. So I don't know about you guys, but pictures tell 1,000 words, and I hope you're convinced right now that the Northern Marble geckos are a pretty cool species to work with. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show. Make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Until next time, thanks for watching CrittaCam.